This is the story about Volkswagen Phaeton. It's a 12-cylinder, all-wheel drive, hand-built luxury sedan with massaging seats, a draft-free climate control system, and a suspension co-developed with Bentley. It's also one of the biggest, most expensive failures in automotive history. So, what on earth happened? How did a car this good, this well-engineered, become a cautionary tale for the entire industry? Stick around, because this story is about more than just a car. It's about ambition, branding, and one man's obsession. Welcome back, everyone. To really understand the Phaeton, you have to understand the man behind it, Ferdinand Piëch. He wasn't just the CEO of the Volkswagen Group, he was the grandson of Ferdinand Porsche. Engineering excellence ran in his veins. By the late 90s, VW was crushing it, owning brands like Audi, Bentley, Lamborghini, and Bugatti. Piëch's ambition was to elevate the entire Volkswagen brand, not just its luxury subsidiaries. He wanted to prove that the people's car company could build a flagship sedan to rival the best in the world, specifically the Mercedes-Benz S-Class. The goal wasn't just to compete, it was to dominate. The brief Piëch gave his engineers was legendary in its difficulty. The car had to be capable of being driven all day at 300 kilometers per hour or 186 miles per hour in 50 degrees Celsius ambient heat, while maintaining a perfectly cool 22 degrees inside. It needed to have class-leading torsional rigidity, and it had to be built in a futuristic all-glass factory, the Gläserne Manufaktur or Transparent Factory in Dresden, where customers could watch their cars being assembled by hand. No expense was spared. The project cost over €1 billion to develop. The result was, by all objective measures, a masterpiece of engineering. The Phaeton was built on a platform shared with the Bentley Continental GT and Flying Spur. It offered a range of engines, culminating in the monstrous 6.0-litre W12, essentially two V6 engines melded together. The interior was a symphony of wood, leather, and chrome. The 4-zone climate control system was so advanced that it could cool the cabin without creating any perceptible draft on the occupants. The air suspension provided a ride that was smoother than just about anything on the market. Reviewers at the time were astonished. They praised its build quality, its refinement, and its understated performance. On paper, the Phaeton was a winner. It was a better car in many ways than the S-Class it targeted. But here's the problem. Cars aren't bought on paper. They're bought on perception, on brand identity, on the story they tell about their owner. And that's where the Phaeton fell apart. The biggest hurdle was the badge on the grille. It said Volkswagen. For decades, VW had built its entire brand identity on being the affordable, reliable, sensible choice for the average person. The Beetle, the Golf, and the Jetta, these were the people's cars. Suddenly, they were asking people to spend Mercedes S-Class money, often over $100,000, for a car that looked, to the casual observer, like a giant Passat. Think about the psychology of a luxury car buyer. They aren't just buying transportation, they're buying status, prestige, and a symbol of their success. Pulling up to the country club in a Mercedes or a BMW sends a specific message. Pulling up in a Volkswagen, no matter how magnificent, sent a confusing one. People would ask, "You paid how much for a Volkswagen?" It was a conversation no luxury buyer wanted to have. The brand that was a source of pride for being accessible and down-to-earth became a liability at the high end of the market. Volkswagen's own dealerships were not equipped to handle this type of customer. A person spending 6 figures on a car expects a certain level of service and a premium showroom experience. But Phaeton buyers found themselves sitting in the same waiting rooms next to someone getting an oil change on their $15,000 Jetta. The sales and service experience simply didn't match the price tag. The sales numbers were catastrophic. In the United States, VW hoped to sell 5,000 Phaetons a year. So what's the legacy of the Phaeton? On one hand, it's a textbook example of a brand extension failure. It proves that no matter how good your product is, you can't ignore the power of branding and customer perception. It was the right car with the wrong badge. But on the other hand, there's a silver lining. The lessons learned from the Phaeton were invaluable. The technology and engineering prowess developed for it trickled down to other, more successful cars within the VW group, particularly at Audi and Bentley. The Phaeton's platform, engines, and features helped elevate the entire group's capabilities. It was an expensive R&D project, but it wasn't a total waste. Today, the Phaeton has become a cult classic. For those in the know, it represents a unique and incredible bargain on the used market. You can pick up a hand-built, W12-powered, Bentley-based super sedan for the price of a used Camry. It's a car for people who value engineering over image, substance over style. It's a car for someone who wants S-Class luxury without the S-Class attention. It failed because it wasn't a status symbol, but that's precisely why it's so cool today. It was a car built not for the market, but to satisfy the singular, obsessive vision of one powerful man. And while that's a terrible business strategy, it makes for one heck of a fascinating car and an unforgettable story. What do you think? Was the Phaeton a noble failure or just a huge mistake? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the automotive world. See you in the next one.